Hello, it's Kate from Open Door Counsel and Life Coaching. I am a day late for Therapy Thursday, but I'm going to post this video because I think it's important. A lot of people that I meet with deal with anxiety, whether it's social anxiety or just general anxiety. Some people even to the point of having fear of leaving their homes or being being in a crowd, maybe even going to the grocery store. I just want to talk to you a little bit about what anxiety is and what we can do about it. Specifically geared towards people with a sense of faith-based belief system. So I'm just going to share this with you. We've all experienced anxiety and fear, and if you haven't, are you human? It would be nearly impossible to learn life lessons without it. Like part of being a kid and, hearing the monsters under your bed or wondering if they're hiding in your closet. That was always my question and fear when I was little. As a baby grows and develops, they need the ability to sense fear, so they learn about themselves and others in the world, right? From fear, they will learn what to avoid. So it's not all bad to have fear, okay? Fear is necessary for survival. If a little kid went up to a rattlesnake and had no fear, that kid would probably get bit and, might not make it. So it's important. Fear plays a role, but we don't want it to overcome us, okay? But anxiety is not necessarily needed for survival, okay? So hear this. Living busy and overcommitted lives, like most of us do, can trap us in that chronic anxiety, which is a signal to us that we need some help. We need some life changes. So how can we tell if we're experiencing that fear or anxiety? Let's define what anxiety is, okay? So according to anxiety.org, anxiety is defined as a psychological and emotional response to a threat that the brain perceives, okay? Fear, so let me just repeat that. Anxiety is a physiological, so you feel it in your body, and emotional, you feel it in your feelings and your emotions, physical, a body and an emotional response to a threat that our brain perceives. That is anxiety. Fear, on the other hand, is a response to real danger. Okay, it's that rattlesnake. Differentiating is necessary, okay? And realistically, fear from that chronic problematic anxiety is often tricky because anxiety and fear both send messages to the brain that are interpreted as a potential threat, triggering that fight or flight system, okay? So think about it like this. Healthy fear is in response to a specific event. For example, the fear of a hot stove or the rattlesnake, right? We have a fear of touching it. We're gonna get burned. We're fear of going up to the rattlesnake. We're gonna get bit. An unhealthy fear that triggers anxiety is about something general. It's an overwhelming sense of worry or fear that you can't stop thinking about. It's that automatic negative thoughts, those ants that go on the I like it like a little gerbil wheel, just keeps going and going. That builds anxiety, which we can feel it and we can feel in our emotions, and we can sense it in our bodies. So what happens when anxiety becomes an all too familiar companion? Because what we think about, if we don't control where our brain goes, our brain can go on these automatic thoughts that bring us to crazy places, like being full of anxiety to the point of being paralyzed physically or emotionally, okay? So when anxiety becomes all too familiar, maybe even interrupting sleep. Some of you I know have interrupted sleep. You sleep too much, or you can't sleep, or you can't fall asleep, or when you do fall asleep, but then you wake up in the middle of the night and your mind is going on that little wheel again. Sometimes it interrupts just regular general like working thoughts or relational thoughts. It can interrupt our relationships, can't it? It can interrupt our health. It can interrupt our sense of well-being. Many people experience anxiety, okay? But continued bouts of anxiety where it's manifesting in our body and in our emotions, that it's our brains are like going, we can't seem to stop it. This may indicate an actual anxiety disorder. Mayo Clinic offers a general list of symptoms, okay, common to people who have chronic diagnosable anxiety disorder. Some of these symptoms are these. So listen, if maybe this is something that's going on with you. You're feeling nervous, restless, or tense. You're having a sense of impending danger, panic or doom. You're having an increased heart rate. Remember that physical manifestation. Breathing rapidly, maybe even hyperventilating, sweating or trembling, feeling very weak and tired, trouble concentrating or thinking about anything else than this present worry. Having trouble sleeping, even having GI problems where you're maybe having diarrhea or you can't poop at all. Having difficulty controlling your worry, or having the urge to avoid things that trigger anxiety. So you're like, you want to go to an event, but you begin to think about it, and it begins that wheel, that spinny wheel. And the next thing you know, you're like, I can't go, right? It begins to control your life. Now, experiencing a couple of these symptoms from time to time is not a concern, okay? Everybody experiences them. But if you or someone you love is experiencing these multiple symptoms chronically, you might have a specific disorder. You might want to look into more help or a medicine or something to help you, okay? I would say talk therapy is key, but maybe even a pill if you need that, if that's something that you're open to. I'm not forcing pills down anybody's mouth, but definitely talk therapy to help you connect with someone that can help you get your thoughts under control. There's often a stigma about mental health, right? But having anxiety doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're less than, or you're not faithful enough to God or something like that. Okay, there were others, and I just love, somebody posted a meme recently, and it was like all of the people that God called were hot messes, and I'm like, woohoo, sign me up. And like, it doesn't discount us from being loved by God or used by God or known by God or anything like that, okay? In the same way, someone might have like a cold or physical symptom, right? So someone might have an anxiety order. It's just like the emotional, physical thing, but sometimes people might just have a cold. That's a physical thing. We don't want to create a stigma around the mental health. In fact, there's been so much good push to pull that stigma away from mental health. Just like we need physical health, we need mental health, and we need spiritual health, okay? This is what my business is all about: mind, body, and spirit wellness. So we want to pull that stigma away. Anxiety is often a result of a chemical imbalance of the brain on some physiological level. So there's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed of. Sometimes you don't have the right stuff pumping through at the right time, okay? Some of that could play into your hormones. Some of it could play into your nutrition. Some of it could play into XYZ. Like, there's so many things at play. We're very complicated beings, so don't point at yourself and think less of yourself, because there's no need to, okay? Anxiety is one of the most common treatable issues for people in therapy. So the good news is that anxiety disorders respond well to many types of counseling, including cognitive and behavioral therapy, meditation, prayer, lifestyle changes, medications, just to name a few things. So if you were coming into my office and the first look at your health, we'd look at the medications, your sleep, your lifestyle. Many people often suffer from the stressful, overpacked lives. Most people that come in have so much going on. Inadequate sleep is also a huge issue, which contributes to this vicious cycle. So we need to work on developing self-awareness in these areas and healthy coping strategies. What do we put in place of these constant worry, this constant anxiety? Sometimes medication is necessary. It's okay. Sometimes we need to actually treat that chemical imbalance if that's something that's going on in us. So we're going to look at ways to reduce some anxiety. Ready? I'm just going to give you this high-level thing, high-level list. So we want to get some healthy sleep. I could go on for a week about how important sleep is. It's so important. We want to get healthy sleep. We want to change our diet, make sure we're eating a nutritionally dense diet, maybe even doing supplements if that's what we need. I just got myself on some supplements because I need that. Maybe low in vitamins and minerals, which is where I was at. So I signed up to do the supplements, vitamins and minerals and berries and all that good stuff. Integrating exercise is huge for anxiety. Are you hearing me? It's so important when we're feeling stressed to exercise. It completely helps, okay? It's a good thing. Try mindful meditation, try prayer, breathing. There's ways we can breathe, square breathing and just purposeful breathing. If you ever done yoga, you know how they breathe very purposefully through their stretches and poses. Reducing stress. That's like everybody's thing. Everybody needs to reduce stress. And then stop overcommitting. Learn to say no. Okay, learn to say no. We want to develop self-awareness, super important. And if you can't do that on your own, reach out to me or someone you know and trust to help you do that, to develop your self-awareness and increase that, and invest in our emotional well-being. Spend time with God if you have a relationship with Him. If that's something that you are interested in, I definitely can connect you there too. Spend time with God. God loves you. You are the treasure and the apple of His eye. Don't ever be afraid to talk to Him, no matter what you've done or said or whatever. He still loves you, okay? I want you to know that, and you can talk to Him about anything at any time. And then just, I know we can feel overwhelmed with this huge, big, long list. Do this and sleep and take your supplements and talk to Jesus and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, guys, just start small. Choose one thing that you can get better. Choose one thing you can tweak and begin to add slowly over time. You can get to a place with less anxiety. You do not have to live full of fear or anxiety that is crippling you. You don't have to. There are ways out, okay? So that is a big, long video about anxiety. I'm sorry it's so long. I am Kate from Open Door Counsel and Life Coaching. That's your Therapy Thursday. Just one day late.